Chapter 6. Between the Flesh and the Flame. The restaurant was dim and intimate, tucked away in a part of town that looked less like Macon and more like a moody corner of Atlanta. Exposed brick walls, soft jazz, and warm amber lighting gave the illusion of privacy, even in a room full of people. Elise arrived 2 minutes before 8, dressed simply. Black wide-leg trousers, a silk blouse the color of red wine, and a leather trench she hadn't worn in years. Malik was already at the table, phone face down, glass of water half full. He stood when he saw her. "Wow," he said, before catching himself. "Sorry. Hey. You always this smooth," Elise quipped, slipping into her seat. "Only when I'm nervous." Elise raised an eyebrow. "You're nervous?" "You're intimidating," he said, grinning. "You do know that, right?" She allowed a small smirk. "People say that. They placed their orders, steak for him, salmon for her, and made it through the first course on safe ground. Mutual acquaintances, travel, what restaurants they miss from childhood." Malik surprised her. He was more relaxed than she remembered. Less performative. He even made her laugh once, something sharp and sudden that caught her off guard. Halfway through dinner, he leaned in a little. "You've changed." Elise blinked. "Excuse me?" I don't know, quieter. Not in a bad way. Just, you used to light up a room. Now you kind of watch it burn." Elise reached for her wine. "Maybe I've just been busy." "Busy and heavy ain't the same thing," he said, then added more softly, "You seem heavy." She didn't respond immediately. The pause was pregnant enough to feel like a conversation on its own. "I'm carrying more," she said eventually. "That's all." They sat with that Malik didn't push. He just nodded. After dessert, he walked her to her car. The night air was cooler than expected, and her breath made faint clouds in the dark. "I had a good time," he said. "Me too." He opened her door. "Text me when you get home." She gave him a small smile. "I will." Back home, Elise undressed slowly. Her body wasn't tired, but her mind was lead-heavy. She slipped into bed, lights off, phone face down. Sleep came quickly. So did the dream. She was back in the restaurant, but this time empty. No diners. Just Malik. He stood behind her, hands sliding slowly around her waist, kissing the back of her neck, his lips warm. His voice whispered, "I knew you'd come around." Her body moved with his, familiar now, less hesitant than she expected. Clothes vanished, skin met skin. But just as he pulled her closer, her eyes caught something in the distance. A doorway, cracked open, and in the shadow of that door stood Amara, watching, not angry, not ashamed, just present. Elise froze, but not from fear. Her breath hitched, and to her surprise, something about being watched didn't kill the moment. It made it better. It stirred something deep and electric. Her skin flushed in places Malik hadn't touched yet, and that realization that she was turned on by Amara's presence, maybe that's what shocked her awake. She gasped, legs tangled in sheets, chest heaving. She sat up, rubbed her eyes, still buzzing, still affected. Then her phone vibrated. A message from the church admin group. Subject, upcoming trip to Portugal. Details and itinerary attached. Confirmed by Friday. She closed the message without reading further and fell back onto the bed. For a long time she stared at the ceiling, pulse still thudding beneath her skin. By late morning she needed air, or distraction, or both. She called the spa. "Hi, I was wondering, is Brielle in today?" The receptionist confirmed she was. "Great," Elise said. "I'd like to book the full suite, facial, massage, bath, with her, the usual." They slotted her in for late afternoon. As she ended the call, her reflection caught in the mirror. She didn't look exhausted anymore. She looked like a woman with a secret. The dream lingered. Intensely, Elise could still feel it as she dressed. Soft fabrics brushing over hypersensitive skin, her body responding to memory like it was present reality. The coolness of the marble floor beneath her feet, the weight of the water in her glass, even the breeze from the open window as she left the house, everything felt amplified. Her senses were humming, and she didn't like it. By the time she pulled into the spa parking lot, she questioned if booking the appointment had been wise. A full-body massage after a dream like that? She exhaled, gripping the steering wheel before releasing it. It's just a massage, just Brielle, just routine. Still, her body knew better. Her body remembered things before her mind gave them permission. She stepped out of the Range Rover, heels clicking softly against the pavers as she approached the entrance. The spa was quiet today, the soft scent of jasmine and sandalwood floating in the air like an invitation to forget. And Elise wanted to oblige. The receptionist smiled when she walked in. "Ms. Montgomery, you're all set. Brielle will meet you shortly." Elise nodded, lowering her sunglasses and glancing briefly at the rows of candles and essential oils displayed in the softly lit lobby. She could already feel her pulse in her fingertips. A moment later, Brielle appeared, her presence as poised and effortless as the last time. Her uniform was sleek and modest, but the confidence in her walk gave it shape. "Welcome back," she said, voice low and rich as ever. Elise nodded again. "Hey." No words were wasted. Brielle gestured toward the hallway. "Suite 3 is prepped for your service. Facial, massage, and bath. Correct?" "Yes." The short walk felt longer than it was. Inside the private suite, Elise slipped into the robe left for her and took a steadying breath. Her skin already tingled with anticipation. She told herself it was the essential oils. The dream had nothing to do with it. The facial came first, gentle pressure, cool serums. Brielle's hands moved with precision, her fingers barely brushing Elise's temples as she applied the final mask. "Still carrying stress across your brow," Brielle said quietly, standing over her. Elise didn't respond. She didn't have words for what she was carrying. Brielle dimmed the lights as she stepped away. "Take a breath. I'll be back in a moment to prep the bath." The door clicked shut behind her. Elise opened her eyes, staring at the ceiling. Her body still hadn't calmed. It was as if something inside her had been touched, and now it refused to be still or quiet. She wasn't sure if it was the memory of Malik's hands or Amara's eyes watching. The water was already drawn when Brielle returned. Steam curled through the air like silk, carrying the scent of eucalyptus and crushed lavender. A soft instrumental playlist hummed in the background, like a memory she couldn't quite place. Brielle approached with quiet confidence. "Everything's ready." Elise stood, slowly untying her robe and stepping into the warm bath, her breath catching slightly at the contrast between heated water and cool air. Brielle moved efficiently, lighting a candle near the base of the soaking tub, the flame flickering against the glossy tile. "We'll start with a full-body sugar scrub," she said, voice smooth as warm honey. "Let me know if anything's uncomfortable." Elise nodded. The first touch was to her shoulder, intentional, deliberate, but not rushed. Brielle's hands moved with practiced rhythm, applying the scrub along Elise's back, arms, and collarbone. Her finger swept along the curve of Elise's spine, gentle yet firm, working the tension from her body with unspoken reverence. It wasn't overtly erotic, but it wasn't neutral either. There was something intimate in the quiet, in the way Brielle worked in silence, not breaking the spell with words. Elise's breathing slowed but deepened. She was aroused, and not by fantasy this time, by presence and touch added to the lingering dream, by being touched with care that wasn't performative or transactional. There was no pressure here to be desirable, and yet her body was humming. Brielle shifted to the other side of the tub, kneeling. She gently guided Elise to lift her leg as she began scrubbing and rinsing down her calf. Elise closed her eyes, trying to breathe through the heat rising in her. But a few moments later, something made her open them. Instinct? Intuition? She didn't know. But when she looked up, Brielle was watching her, not with lust, not with shame, just intensity. A gaze like hands, unflinching. Still, Elise's breath caught, and in that suspended moment, she realized something she had never let herself consider before. She liked being watched, not in public, not for approval, but here, in quiet, unseen places where the watching felt forbidden. She closed her eyes again, this time slower. A chill ran down her spine even as heat curled between her legs. This was dangerous, and yet she didn't move. Elise dressed slowly. Her limbs were loose, her skin flushed, her thoughts fogged in a way that wasn't unpleasant, just unfamiliar. She didn't rush, didn't force herself to gather it all up and make sense of what had just happened. The robe felt heavier now, not from water, but from awareness. She stepped out of the suite and found the hallway empty. A soft chime played at the front desk as she approached, signaling her checkout. Brielle was there, waiting, already changed back into street clothes, hair pulled up into a loose, effortless bun. She offered a polite smile, one that didn't match the electricity of their last few moments together. Professional, detached. But something passed between them anyway. Elise handed over her card. "Thank you," she said. Brielle met her gaze. Any time. No flirtation, no question. Just a current, felt, not spoken. Back in the Range Rover, Elise let the silence stretch. She didn't play music, didn't open her windows, just sat with it. Her skin still buzzed, her pulse low and slow like a beat she couldn't ignore. It wasn't the bath. It wasn't even Brielle. Not entirely. It was the truth blooming slowly inside her, one she didn't have a name for yet. Her phone lit up in the passenger seat. Julian. "So I heard you were with Malik. We doing this now? You already know nobody puts it down like me. Stop playing." She rolled her eyes and deleted the message without responding. Not tonight. Not ever, if she could help it. She pulled into her driveway just as dusk was rolling over the tops of the trees, painting everything in soft amber and shadow, and there he was. Malik stood at her front steps in a dark blazer, holding a bottle of deep red wine in one hand and a small gift bag in the other. A bouquet of long-stemmed roses rested in the crook of his arm. He didn't see her at first. He looked nervous, hopeful, sharp, in that dressed-down, dapper way he always managed to pull off. Elise sat in her car a moment longer, watching him. Something in her body overheated, rising from her stomach to her chest to her face. She licked her lips, whispered under her breath, "This is about to be real good, or real bad. Either way, here we go." She stepped out of the car and smiled. The shit's about to go down. You've just listened to Chapter 6 of The Bishop's Daughter by Lee Franklin. If you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next chapter.